Hello, Alberto. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to see you online.
Alberto and I, we met through LinkedIn, a year and a half ago, maybe?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago,
Around
yes.
that. Yeah, and Alberto took part of my LinkedIn training, and that's how we got connected. And since then, we have been cooperating and discussing a lot about different things related to business in China and other business opportunities as well. So I'm very happy to have Alberto here with us today. He's going to be sharing 5 things that Western companies miss when negotiating with China. So keep tuned and let's get into it. So Alberto, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started with China.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, first of all, I would like to confirm that the excuses of meeting you for a LinkedIn course was the best possible things I could find to get in touch with you in person. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it was such an interesting profile on LinkedIn that I said, I got to know this lady. Okay, and here we are. So thank you again for inviting me. Well, China started a long time ago for me. I was about 19, and I was buying products for a multinational company in Italy. And it was very interesting that every product I was buying, it had a very little sticker, a very golden color sticker, say made in Taiwan, ROC. And I say, oh, this is another product from Rock, another product from Rock. And I like Rock. I want to rock. And so I decided that I would have gone to this Rock, okay?
Right.
I wanted to rock, and I went to Rock, okay? ROC stands for Republic of China, Taiwan, and of course it was the most amazing experience I could possibly have. I was very young, very naive somehow, because I thought that I could do and manage anything. And so I said, okay, everything is there. Why not move to Taiwan? And time 6 months, and then I was living in Taipei, Taiwan, ROC, and it's all started there. I mean, I went there to basically source products and propose the same kind of products to similar European companies where I used to work, and I thought that I could have done with my own company, starting the business and running the show without any problem. It's been an amazing adventure. Not exactly everything went the way I was thinking it was supposed to go, but it was a perfect year. I mean, I had my own learning curve to follow, and it was a great experience after all. Started with Taiwan, many years there. Then I opened up companies in Hong Kong because manufacturing switched from Taiwan to China, and then I started to constantly be in China, following factories and setups, inspections, and product sourcing, and then keep on growing and growing, and then the business exploded, and then it was great. I mean, really, really great. And it went on for about 10 years, constantly running behind suppliers, product prices, and descriptions, and features and specification.
I know the feeling.
You know the feeling, yes.
Yeah, okay, super. And so basically, you used to do more exporting, right? Manufacturing, sourcing, quality control, and so on, exporting from China to Europe and other countries. But now you are also doing the other way around. So you are also helping companies that would like to understand more about the Chinese culture and the way to do business and how to enter with their products in China, right?
I can say that my professional life was divided into 4 different aspects, okay? 4 different frames. The first part was sourcing products from China, basically Asia, and selling the products to European distributors. The second part was being a distributor myself, which went very well and very fast. The third part was working as a consultant for large corporation, mainly American corporation, who sourced product from Asia and needed someone to help them for the European distribution. And then I went back to China. I moved back to Shenzhen, where I lived there with my family for a long time, and I started again to source products. And eventually, I started my own production production line, my factory. And so these phases, okay, help me to mature a lot of information in terms of sourcing, manufacturing, distributing, and after sales service for the products. Okay, and when I decided to sell my business to bigger companies who wanted to enter in, then I thought that what I missed was the last part of a trade, which was exporting product from the West to China. You know very well that China is a complete different environment in terms of communication, in terms of internet application, in terms of payments, and in terms of retails. And this is not very well understood in the West. Thus, I try to explain this, and I help brand and small medium enterprises to sell their products and position their products on the Chinese market with a digital approach. So this is what I'm doing lately, and I've also been asked to speak publicly to describe this my experience and to give people some takeaways on how to improve their sales to master the Middle Kingdom. Okay, which is also part of the name of my new book, which is coming out soon.
Coming out. Awesome. Okay, let's get into the talk then of today's topic. So let's talk about the five things that most of the Western companies miss when negotiating with China. So I'm very, very excited to hear your insights on that, and maybe I can learn something new today as well.
All right. Okay. So first of all, and I think you got nothing to learn. Okay, but I like to confront my ideas with yours. Okay.
Right.
First of all, as you teach me, we need to understand one thing, very, very important, and which sometimes is taken not so much into consideration. Okay. China is a different world compared to the West. China is not only a different world in terms of culture, but China is a different world in terms of attitude toward things. So what is important to us, for them, it has minimal appeal, and vice versa. So many things that we think are not relevant, to them are fundamentals important. Okay, so I would not only talk about what you can find a lot of literatures in terms of Minz and Guanxi, okay, but I would talk about something which is very seldom talked about. So the first things that Western need to remember when they talk to Chinese, okay, is that time for them is not relevant. I mean, when I ask you time is, what would the answer you give me? Time is money. Time is everything. Okay. And when you talk to any Western businessman, you ask them, so how is it going? Say, oh, good. So, but yeah, I have no time for this. Let me rush and go further. Okay. So for us Western people, time is everything. That means that we are always running behind things. Okay. We are always, getting things, stepping up and piling up. So we have no time for ourselves. We have no time for family. We have no time for things because we got so many things piling up. This is a typical attitude of a standard businessman when he go to China. He thinks he can get to China and get things done quickly. So visiting 5, 10, 20 different suppliers, okay, selecting the products, asking for the price, and getting down the information, then think that he can go back and say, okay, I'm going to place the order and hoping that everything goes smooth. Well, take your time. Take your time, because Chinese people, they have time. They have no pressure. They have no pressure in getting your order. They have no pressure in getting things done the way you say. They have pressure in getting things done the way they want, which is not exactly what you think it's going to be the important way for you. Okay, there are many little details that you do not take in considerations that let you waste time, and you think that you're wasting time, thus losing money. Okay, for them is taking time, thus implementing new solutions, thus finding out some um, different approach to talk to you, to deliver a product that you ask, or to deliver things that we are not ready to deliver otherwise. Okay, so when you have a pressure under time, they need time to make things better. Okay, and the Chinese are very good at this, and they're very smart to use these situations. And most of the time, for us, is kind of a frustrating situation where we do not understand why we get elusive and evasive answers from them, and instead we have just the request, just the demand to give them some more time. Okay, so take into consideration the first point is take your time. For you, time is money. For them, time is a need. Okay, and they have more time than you think you can give to them. So this is my first point.
I agree with with what you're saying.
Yeah, and we don't realize. I mean, our attitude has always been, okay, let's go, let's visit. Okay, yeah, okay, the product can be done. Yeah, can you do this, and this? They will tell you a polite yes. You know, every implementation, every modification, every shade of colors of the packagings that you ask them to change, they will give you always a yes answer. That is a polite yes. That does not mean that they are ready to do it. There is a yes but behind it. Okay, so they
yes,
need
but
time.
the only problem is that they don't say the but after. They just say yes.
Yeah. No, they say no problem.
Yeah.
You know, I have a theory about the no problem. You know, it was driving me mad because every time I said, "Oh, you see this? Okay, we gotta change this and this and that," and they go like, "No problem," and I go, like, "Okay, no problem." Maybe they understood, and then we go on. The week after, I go back. I asked you to change this and this and that, and you didn't change anything. And they reply to me, "Oh, no problem." I say, "What? No problem? Okay, the problem is that you didn't do it." "Oh, yeah. No problem."
Yes, I've been
And
there.
it was just, I know you've been there, and it was just so exhausting that I go like, okay, what is a no problem answer? The no problem answer is very simple if you get it, because if there is a solution to the matter, then there is not the problem. But if there is no solution to what you ask them, okay, why do you even ask to solve a problem? Thus, no problem. For them, is always a no problem, okay? And there is always a polite yes as an answer to your question.
That's true.
A second point, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say that the other thing that I think is a reason why most of the Chinese say no problem or always say yes is that sometimes they do not really understand, and this is very, very dangerous. Sometimes they do not understand our requirements, and they do not want to lose face, because here this is a big thing in China. They don't want to lose face and tell you that, one, they cannot do it, or two, that they do not understand you. So I have faced this issue before where they couldn't really understand what I was trying to do on the product. So you have to be also very careful when you are saying, when the Chinese is telling you, yes, no problem. I'm always very strict, like, and hush, like, I'm like, okay, what means no problem? Is that a yes? You're going to change it? And then if yes, when and how? Or is this a no? You cannot do it. So because sometimes we also ask them and the answer is okay. So it's a yes or no question, but the answer is okay. And they're like, okay, what? Is this
Okay.
yes?
Okay, what?
It's a no. And most of the time,
Okay, what?
it's because like they do not understand the requirements, or they are afraid to tell you that they cannot do it. What do you think?
Yeah. This, I think, is exactly what you say. I think that language is a big issue. Okay, even though they can somehow speak the language, because most of them today they speak English. The cultural barrier is beyond the language barrier. And so again, they are afraid to tell you that they don't understand what you're saying. They're afraid to tell you that they cannot do what you're asking. They're afraid to disappoint you. And that's why they tell you, oh, no problem, or okay, or yes. Okay, but still, I mean, you got to live with it. Okay, you got to make your way out. I mean, and this is why we struggle, and this is why we are here talking about it. So just think, okay, that behind every yes, behind every okay, and behind every no problem, there may be a bigger yes or a bigger okay or a bigger no problem to other issues, okay, which is not publicly spoken by them. Okay.
Yes.
So my second point that a foreigner should care about is exactly the language. I realize that most of the time people just think that English is the universal language. Okay. But living in China, I realized that there is no other language than the Chinese.
Yes.
Even when I wander through cities in the third or fourth or fifth tier provinces, I mean, far away from what I call civilization and Western civilization, okay, far away from skyscrapers and back in country towns and so on, people just look at me and speak naturally to me in Chinese because they have no clue that exists any other form of communication. Okay, so if you are in doubt of getting out of any meetings, okay, bring with you an interpreter and not just a translator. An interpreter, and possibly look for an interpreter who has your own nationality or the same continent where you come from, okay, so that it has an easier approach to your understanding, and it has easier for you to communicate even your personal feeling toward the communication. And just wish that this interpreter has been living in Asia, in China in particular, for at least a couple of years, so that he get most of the frustrating situations sorted out, and he knows exactly how to give face but get the answer in return. Okay, so it's very important that you rely on a great translator, a great interpreter for what you need. This is so much true, in particular, when the translator or the interpreter is offered by the manufacturer. Usually they are Chinese graduates who have a very good mastering of the English language, but first of all, they work for your supplier or for your customer. Second of all, they are very Chinese in terms of politely tell you things. Third, they are not going to translate literally what you say, and sometimes not even what they are told by their boss, but they are kind of interpret the message in a way that you cannot get offended, and you are happy with the answer, even though it is not truly what it was originally meant to be said. Okay.
He becomes the middleman most of the time.
Yeah.
These people, they become the middleman and they start negotiating on behalf of the factory. So yeah, I also do not advise any of my clients to get a translation, never get a translation or interpreter from the factory. Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, think about it. I started to understand the real need of understanding and speaking the language only after 3 weeks I was in Taiwan. I immediately understood that what I was saying, it was not what it was translated, and the answer I was getting were not answer to my question. So it was something that kept recurring and recurring, and I said, okay, no way, I'm gonna live here and I'm gonna learn the language, I'm gonna master it, I'm gonna deal directly with the people in charge without having a middleman. Okay, so here we come to the point number 3. Point number 3 is middleman. As I said, there is always someone in between. But
I am going ahead here.
You're anticipating.
I didn't even know what are the 5
No,
Which I think you want
I
to
said that
share.
you.
But you see,
We didn't talk a bit. We
we
didn't
didn't
talk
even
about
talk,
this Taiwan.
right? Amazing.
Yeah. But our background is so similar and we are so good at it. So I know exactly that I'm gonna speak your voice and vice versa. So the middleman can be anyone, not necessarily someone employed from you or from the businesses business owner as well. A middleman can be the assistant, can be the maymay, can be the sales manager. Everybody's a sales manager in China.
Mm-hmm.
They know no titles but sales manager. So it's always in there someone that is going to talk to you before your inquiry gets straight to the person in charge.
Mm-hmm.
This is frustrating. This is something that let you waste so much time.
Yeah.
If you're smart enough and you understand at this point, maybe this is something that may give you the possibility to save a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because and here comes the different attitude you may have. Okay, a middleman is a middleman, and it means that his value, okay, can be adjusted to your personal needs. I give you a straight example. I'm sourcing products, okay, and I am visiting a factory. Someone, okay, say that will come to pick me up somewhere. Obviously, it's a maymay, it's a sales assistant, it's someone that has no position within the company to make decision. It's someone you ask a question, she always answers to you. Okay, I will ask and give you a reply later. Okay, so basically there is not someone you can deal directly because you are the decision maker, she is not. Okay, so what happened is that I don't even waste my time talking to her about product details because she needs an engineer. I don't waste my time talking to her about pricing because she needs her managers. I not about the delivery because she needs the production manager, and so on and so on. But what I ask her is to accompany me throughout the company to see and inspect their facilities. Now, see the point, okay? She is useless to my initial intention, but she is the only one who has time to spare, or read it as waste, okay, time to waste for me to go around the company and inspect the facilities, check out their stock, check out their warehouse, check out the cleanliness, check out the production facility, check out the R&D department, check out everything that a manager will not even take you there because he knows that you could get information that they don't want to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do is use her oh, it comes incompetence as a word, but I don't mean that she is incompetent. I mean that she has not the competence
She's
to
not the
deal with that
decision maker.
situation. Uh, exactly. She being her not the decision maker, you can use her, okay, as your guide through the company, and you can get answered just by inspecting the company, looking at the details, looking at the floor, looking at the boxes, looking where the box in the warehouse ready to ship. They tell you exactly where they're going, how many quantities are shipped, and who is the beneficiary, who's the destination country, and who's buying the products. Okay, and if you are in the field, you know exactly that this company, I mean, this goods is being packed for that company, and you got the what, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 pieces going out, and so you understand that it's a big company doing big quantities for a big customers. Okay, instead, if you see many different packages with different destination, but 200-300 pieces for each, you understand that this company is not doing big numbers and they are more oriented on small orders, and then you can get a different approach and understanding of what the company is. So you can really use airtime to value more your time. Okay, and this is very important, and I guess that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. The other thing that I do as well, but that doesn't really work most of the time for smaller orders. So if you have smaller orders, of course, you probably know that your buying power is way less. So it's harder for you to negotiate and to require different things when you are manufacturing or even before you manufacture. So, but when you are actually producing like mass, big quantities, what I do is when I visit a factory, I get every single person that is involved into the decision-making process in terms of the person that can give me the production time, the person that can give me details about the quality, the pricing, and so on. And so I can have an idea, and then we have a meeting with all of those people involved at the same time, and we get the information directly from them during that meeting. So that makes it very, very makes it fast, makes it productive. And at the end of the meeting, you have a straight idea of how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost. You can do the negotiation, start negotiation at least if you don't finish negotiation during this meeting. But that's something that if you have buying power, you can request when you're going to the factory, asking for the quality manager to join, or even tell this to the salesperson that talked to you, because like you said, the salesperson doesn't have any decision-making powers in there. What the sales he or she will do is take your inquiry, go straight to the same people and get an answer. And what happens sometimes is that she gives maybe to a sales manager, and so the sales manager will try to get this information. And sometimes I feel
Sales
that
director, yeah,
or the sales director, and
and
sometimes
so
I feel that they don't really go through each process to check exactly how long it's going to take, and check how many orders they have at the moment. And so it can get really, really messy. Maybe they can estimate something that is not really accurate. But when you have everybody in the same meeting room, and you put in your cards and you let them know how much you want to produce. But again, this would not work if you're trying to make 5,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces. I'm talking about like huge volume, massive volume.
yeah, 100,000 pieces
Hundred
more, yeah,
thousands, yeah, 100,000s, million
pieces more.
pieces.
Yeah,
Then you
but
have the
this
power.
is a point.
Bring in those people and request them to give you a straight answer right away, and that is really powerful.
Yeah, but this is a point, okay? We're not all 100,000 pieces order people. We are maybe small corporation, small, medium enterprises starting with a project, and we want to start with the 500 to 1,000 pieces order, okay? And those we need to adjust also our ambitions to get to the large manufacturer to a different supplier, okay? And so we need to understand more, and this is why I'm telling you, use their weak point to your favor. As a matter of fact, this is what I do with you. And as I say, okay, now we go to the fourth point, okay. When you talk with the managers, okay, when you get to talk to the managers, it always happens that they have a very interesting approach to you. The first time they're gonna meet you, they're gonna treat you very well. They're gonna come and pick you up at the airport. They're gonna cheers you up and invite you for lunch. They're gonna ask you information about your families, your companies, your ambitions, how many, what is your experience, and you feel so cheered up. You tell them so many information about you that they understand already who you are, what you do, why you're there, why are you there, and not your boss, your superior, your director, your decision maker, and so on. So that basically, during those cheering up period, they're going to decide if you are going to be or not a valuable customer for them. So what they're doing, they're trying to create what we think it's a guanxi, so it's a relationship, okay? But in reality, they are studying you and your habits, okay? So that they can decide if you're worth or not their time to proceed with the business. So what I'm suggesting, and here is a recommendation, is don't fall into the trap, okay? If you want to talk to the directors, talk to the director directly at the office. If they offer you to come and pick you up at the airport, just say no, okay? Maybe you will have to spend 1,000 renminbi to get to their office, okay? Or whatever amount of money for transportation, okay? But just cut the crap down, okay? Go straight to the point. Don't give them information about you unless there is already business going on. Okay, talk business first, family after. There is no need for you to get friendly with them, okay? And being friendly with them, it just shows them your vulnerability, your weak point, okay? Your um, uh, seriosity to the business, okay? You may not understand how weak you could be unless you think like them. And they are just studying you. They are not taking chances in getting a different approach rather than studying the real business that is behind you and your decision of power. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, they look frank. You may feel like you are frank with them, but at the end of the day, they're just studying you. They know this exactly. I mean, it was written basically 2,500 years ago by a guy called Sun Tzu, and he wrote it on a small book called The Art of War, and say you know many strategies on how to defeat your enemy using their strengths. Okay, so it's one of the strategies they use. They need to know you so that they can control you better, and they can do the business the way they want and they know how to, so that they can win in a situation where they may be in difficulties, like a delay, a production problem, a short of raw material, or shortage of raw material, or stuff like that. And then they will get back to your family issues, so that they can counter beat their company weak point with your personal and private life weak point. It happens to me many times, and it's been so sometimes humiliating also when I realize that I've been made fun just because they knew too much about me. And this is something that I recommend to all my foreigner friends, not to make as a mistake, because they are all very excited when we go to China. We think it's a new world, it's a new things, it's a new place, but it's not always gold and shine. It's there is a reason why they behave like that.
Okay. So do not disclose too much information, right? There is
Personal information, yes.
Yeah, there are some companies, some factories that actually ask you on the spot who are the competitors. And I've seen people actually telling them who they are manufacturing with, and this is like a huge mistake. It's like, what are you doing?
Nah.
You are telling the
Yeah, but
factory who you're manufacturing right now. You must be crazy. Have you seen this before?
Danny, you know what? This is a strategy called kill your enemy with a borrowed knife. So basically, you're asking them, oh, who's your major manufacturers? And say, oh, my major is company A. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is my company. I will send you price later. And then what they do, they immediately send the best offer to your competitor, so that they know that their business for sure granted. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And I've seen cases where factories would actually give you then the same prices. So okay, they have same prices because you were not smart and you gave the contact details. You told which factory, and in manufacturing China, people may think that it's a huge country, but it's actually a very small industries. Like, for example, I've done electronic cigarettes before, and we all know who they are. They all know each other. When there is a brand new manufacturer of electronic cigarette, everybody knows there is, a new company coming up. Is that a small, is that a medium size, is that a big size? Especially the big industry, the big manufacturers. Everybody knows who they are. And so, and sometimes they're even friends, and they will do that. They will share that information. They're going to give you the same price. Okay. So you no longer have a buying power. You lose your buying power. You lose your negotiation for that, when you are actually telling them how much are you manufacturing with your competitor, how much. I've seen people telling how much they pay, which is a huge mistake. And maybe you should give, if you're giving a low price, that is okay. but if you're actually telling the real price, because I've done that, of course, that's negotiation skills. let's call it white lies. I have told
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah. But
a product for a lower price than I was actually manufacturing. And you never really tell exactly how much you are paying, to your manufacturer. And who is the company that is manufacturing for you? You don't do that, in China or
Mhm.
anywhere.
But they do this also between themselves. Let me tell you what happened when I started my manufacturing company. Obviously, the manufacturing company was in needs that came out after I worked for several years with some OEM manufacturers. So I was basically designing the products and asking some manufacturers to produce it for me. So what happened is that every innovation I brought in the product design and the product specification was immediately developed for me and for them as well. So what I didn't have any advantage in selling a product which was unique because of my intellectual property, because I was asking someone else to do it for me. Those they were implementing it directly into their product line. So what happened is that I decided, okay, I start my company. I start my own manufacturing company and started everything. And systematically, my former OEM manufacturer, which were manufacturing the old products for me, they were calling my new employees to offer them a job, and offering them a job with a much higher salaries, so they would go. Even they didn't want to change the job, they just went there to listen to what they had to say, and thinking that it was just a job offer. On the other hand, they were asked exactly what I was doing, how I was doing, and what kind of products, what was my delivery time, what were my production facilities, what machinery did I buy. All information they couldn't know otherwise. Okay,
Wow.
but and the thing is that my employees, they never told me before going to the meeting. They always told me after they went to the meeting, and or either because I came to know directly from the other party, like, oh, I met your employee, they told me this and that, and so, or because they came out, and they said, yeah, but or maybe we met the people at the exhibition show, and they know, and they say hi to each other like they know each other. I say, how come you know him? Oh, well, he once offered me a job and I went to talk to him. And I say, oh, you didn't tell me? I mean, come on. And what did he ask you? Oh, no, only things about the job. Okay. Yeah, but your job is my business. So you cannot talk to someone else while you're working for me. Okay. Or at least let me know first so that I can advise you what to tell and what not to tell. So they do this all time. This is in their culture. This is their culture. They need to know everything about you before they're gonna do any kind of business. So be careful to expose your weak points. And
Yeah.
this is a very, very, very important matter.
Yeah, give only limited information, only real necessary information, to get a quote. What I see very often as well is suppliers stealing ideas because people have no idea what they're doing. They send the entire project to the factory without any registration before. They didn't patented anything, and it's just like
Yeah,
huge
absolutely.
huge mistake. Your product's gonna be on the streets in 30 days, my friend. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. In less than that. I mean, time to market is critical and really, really fast in China. It's
yeah.
really, really fast. And they have capabilities that we normal humans cannot even imagine, because really, I mean, Chinese, and this is the
They're
most
fast.
important things I'm going to tell you today,
They're
they are
fast.
better than us. They are
Yeah.
faster than us, they are smarter than us, they are more motivated than us. They are the growing economy. They are the player on the market. They are the manufacturers. They are the doers. Okay. And we are using their services to run our business.
And not
Okay.
only
So
that.
here it comes.
Yeah, go
Yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
No, sorry, not only that, what
No,
I'd
I was
like to
saying
hear you.
not only that, today China is not copying. I mean, of course, still copying products, but China is not known here for us, the China business experts, as the copying place anymore. this is becoming a place where they are making things better. They are getting their own ideas right now and starting like amazing products. So still there's a lot of copycats here. But for example, if they get a project from you, that you are sending this to all over China, sending your entire information and to the factories, they may not literally copy your product, but they can actually make it even better and come up with like
Absolutely.
a 10 times better project, which is going to leave
Absolutely.
you, is going to leave you in so bad shape, because now there is already a company that is manufacturing what's supposed to be your product, but already 10 times
Absolutely.
better, you know?
Absolutely.
And that
And
is
here,
30, 45 days.
and
That's how it goes.
even less. And this is
Yeah.
exactly my fifth point, which wanted to be, as a
No
matter
way.
of fact. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, I mean, in short, is protect your intellectual properties,
Yes.
protect
Yes.
your
So
ID,
important.
protect your ideas, protect your concept and yourself. And in particular, if you're trying to sell to China, okay, the first question you need to ask yourself is, am I protecting myself before even approaching anyone in
Yes.
China?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
Now,
so important.
a message for everybody, and I'm talking to every small, medium, large, and big enterprise owners. Okay, even if you're not doing business with China, to China, from China right
Yes.
now, don't worry, they will come to you sooner than you think. Even if you're not planning to do business with China right now, and it's not in your business plan, it's not in your project, it's not even in your remote nightmares, okay? Worry about it, because they are going to come and knock at your door and do the business that you're doing, okay? And maybe improve it, make it better, definitely cheaper, and surely faster than you're doing it. So
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself, and before doing anything, ask yourself if you are enough protected to approach the Chinese market.
Mm-hmm.
This is very important to understand. And I will stress it so much. You know, if you, as you said, and as you know, I am helping a small, medium enterprise to enter the Chinese market right now. The first things I say, I said, okay, what's your situation? How did you talk to, and what did you talk to any of the Chinese you've been in touch with? Oh, you know, they always come like, oh, we got a lot of inquiries, some samples, but no sales. I said, okay, what did you do in the meantime? Did you protect your name? Did you register your brand? Did you do any kind of IP protections or ID protections? And they go like, no, we haven't done anything. I said, okay, then it's too late. I don't even need to check on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's too late. Because if your product is a little bit good, then they already took it, copied it, improved it, adapted to their needs, and already introduced it to the market.
And
So,
protected with your very own name. Okay? Protected
exactly,
with your very
exactly.
own
But
name. That means your brand now belongs to them. So you have two choices. One, don't sell anymore in China. Or second choice is to buy the mark,
their products, your
trademark
products
from
from
them.
them.
Yeah, so that's what you have.
Yes.
Either way, I don't think that's none of those ideas are good. So yeah, before you send any
Yeah.
sample to China, you have to make the right legal. You have to take measurements to protect yourself, your brand, your logo, just everything about your company, because it's happening. It's happening here. It's happening with wine business
It's happening now.
in many different industries. It
Oh, yeah.
has happened with a customer of mine, which is a very famous international restaurant. And they came to China and they opened the restaurant. They tried to patent and register some stuff. Didn't go through. No wonder why, because it was already patented.
Already done.
And no kidding. And no kidding. Like they opened the restaurant. Few months later, there was another restaurant which has nothing to do with any other of those other IPs. And there is a brand new restaurant which copied the entire process, the look of the restaurant, the design, the chairs, the food, the plates, the forks and knives, and
everything,
just everything, the uniforms, everything you could possibly imagine. And this restaurant is just 20 minutes away from the restaurant.
From the other one.
And they're advertising this everywhere. It's crazy.
I tell you, this is happening so often. Even with my customers who's doing a cosmetic product, okay, they say, no, we got these customers, they place an order for 300,000 euro worth of goods, okay, but they only got the first 30,000 euro worth of goods because he said, okay, in the meantime, just send me this and the rest you send me later, and they paid for, okay. And then I said, what happened? Oh, then the business stopped. And I said, oh, really? Yeah, and we don't know why. Could you please check? And I said, oh, yes, I can check, but I can tell you even without checking. I say, what? Okay, well, what they did, they got the first product, they delivered the product to their resellers, okay, so they started their resales process and everything went smooth, and then they started to manufacture your same products with your label, with your boxes, with your everything, with your name. They patent your name, your brand. They did their website under your name, the Chinese name, and they patent everything. They have official WeChat account and everything, and they do offers now, okay, on your behalf without buying the products from you.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, no, this is not possible. I said, okay. I don't need you to trust me, okay? And I don't even want you to charge me to do a research for you because it will cost you a lot of money, okay? But just do your own Baidu research, okay? And check it out by yourself. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't check it before, but I knew exactly. It's a cliche. It's a copycat.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's always happening like this. Okay, so it happened. It was exactly like that. And then he asked me, okay, what should I do now? And I say, now you can focus on India, which is a big market, okay? And they haven't done it yet. Okay, so please focus on India. India is a great market to sell products.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Obviously, I mean, everything was already screwed up in China. Okay, I mean, they have no right to claim anything.
Rights, yeah, you got no rights. China is a very different market, and people do not understand what works in the Western world does not work here. Okay, it's a very different place. It doesn't work. Now, the other thing that people are doing here now, it's also trendy. So let's say you have a good brand in the Western world, but you are not even thinking yet about selling to China. Let's say a wine brand, for example. You have a luxury wine, you're doing very well, but you so far you are not thinking about doing China. But you have a brand, the business is going well, it's famous, and so on. So companies in China are patenting, creating the Chinese name, because you need the Chinese name in order to patent a product here, even if it's a Western product. So create the Chinese name for your product, for your brand, get your logo, get everything that looks just like your brand. And then they patent that, they registered everything, and they keep it there. They keep it there. Nobody knows.
We're just waiting for.
Then the day that you realize, wow, China is a really huge market, let's enter that market. And then, I'm sorry, your brand has been taken. So then, or maybe then this consult, or the other case that happens is that you decide to export to China, and then you start bringing the products. And then after some time, these consulting companies, they're going to reach out to you and tell you, hey, you are selling my own brand in China. You're going to have to pay some fine if you continue to sell products and so on. So then it's crazy.
It is frustrating. But still, I don't want.
The only option you have is actually to buy your own brand or not sell anymore, which is very, very scary.
Absolutely. But Danny, let me share with you an important thought, okay?
Mm-hmm.
China is not all bad. Mm-hmm. China is still one of the largest economy in the world, and definitely the fastest growing economy, definitely the most advanced, technologically advanced economy and culture, digital culture we have on the planet today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a lot to learn from China. So we should inverse the tendency. We should learn from them and bring their know-how into our own mindset.
Mm-hmm.
This is very important. This is a message I want to give to everybody. You want to do business with China, no matter you want to buy products or sell products, okay? No matter you want to sell physical products or services, okay? What you have to do, you have to be obviously cautious.
Yeah, I have to
There
be.
is nothing. I mean, like a good family father, you have to protect your own child and your own interest before even thinking about approaching any new market, not China only. We only focus on China today, and we know all of these fairy tales about China and the Chinese. But at the end of the day, it's anywhere in the world. I'm Italian. I was born and raised in Italy, in Venice, okay? And things happen every day. We Italians do not have the best reputations in the world because we try to be smarter sometimes. We're not just smarter, we're just foolish, okay? Because we think there are a way to do things faster and better than others, okay? Well, protect yourself, no matter what. Just protect yourself. Don't trust anyone for nothing, but trust your feeling, trust your gut, and trust only yourself. Okay, so be conservative when you talk, be conservative with your information, protect your business idea, your business development. Uh, Write down everything. Talk to the people that matters, okay? Don't waste your time with middlemen unless you use the middleman to get time. So to do things that otherwise would be difficult to, okay? Protect your ID, your IP, protect your business and your idea, okay? And be there and catch them all. This is the message I want to give. China is great. China is a beautiful place. They are loving us foreigners for what we are. We are simply. I lived in China like a king because they let me feel superior. Okay, they let me feel better than the same condition I had in my own country. Okay, and I live very well in Italy as well. Okay, but living in China, it's a different approach to life. It's a different mentality. It's a different result at the end of the day. So China is a great place. It's a great place to do business. I made a lot of money. I did business for millions and millions of dollars over the years. It was a great thing for me, for my family, for my friends, for my employees, for everybody, for my customers, for everybody. Okay, just be careful. Don't be silly. Don't be too trusty on other people. Just be cautious on everything you do, and everything will go very smooth.
I agree. And you have to be one step ahead always. So if you're always one step ahead in terms of protecting yourself right away when you start creating your brand new business or your old business or whatever it is, if you're ever thinking about coming to China, the first thing that you need to do is to start protecting yourself, that there's no discussion whatsoever. That is the first thing
if you don't know how to do it,
Sorry?
And if you don't know how to do it, just call someone who has been there before. Just call a foreigner who has the expertise and the experience to do that for you. Exactly. Okay, I'm sure if they call you, for you it's just a matter of a few minutes to tell them exactly what they need to do first.
Exactly.
Okay, before going even further.
There are really great IP companies here in Shenzhen. There are tons. I have a lot of friends that are dealing with IP issues, and some of these companies, they work for Huawei and many other companies. So they do local Chinese companies, but they also do foreign companies and so on in different areas. So it is important. So if you're looking for someone to help you with IP, best way is to ask for referrals. So ask for someone that you know, or go on LinkedIn and start looking for people that can give you referrals, some experts of China business or someone that has a business in China somebody that has a good looking profile and seems professional on LinkedIn will be able to actually maybe give you some details or add you into some WeChat groups where you can actually find real companies, because there are a lot of companies out there as well that they are not really that great, so they will not have your best interest in mind. So I have seen cases where the IP lawyers, they didn't really gave the person the right instruction, and then in the end things didn't go very well for the customer. So be aware as well of what type of companies. But yeah, don't do it yourself, because, well, one, you're not going to be able to do it yourself. Two, you will need a company that will represent and help you to do all the process, and they will be aware of everything that needs to be done in order for you to protect your brand and make the most out of it. So find someone reliable. And I think that is the way to go. And China is growing a lot. There are many different types of businesses. There are a lot of requirements and a lot of things that we still need in here, like especially experts, not only products, but also services. There are a lot of things that people can actually sell into the Chinese market. And more I have a lot of people actually contacting me to help me to enter with their services into the Chinese market. So it's not only products. It's not only products.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Services,
there are a lot of
products,
markets for a lot of
ideas.
things, because as I mentioned earlier, China is moving from being a copycat country to a country that's actually innovating and putting things out there and creating new things. And as they create new things, new products, new services, there is also a huge demand for products and services to help those companies. And so don't think about only product in China. Think about it in terms of services as well. So the other day, a company, a $1 billion company, approached me and to ask me about services, selling services in China, third-party services in China. And that could be a great, really business idea to enter the Chinese market. So there are many things. There are many things that you can sell and work with China. So it's not only products.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being in the show today. I had a wonderful time. I have a really good time with you. It's always great to laugh. You know, Italian Brazilians, we are always having a laugh. Anyway, right?
And we should have more coffee together, definitely.
Exactly. Well, next time, when are you coming back here?
In about 10 days, I'll be there.
10 days. Okay.
Yes.
We'll see. Maybe we can catch up.
Definitely, I'd love to.
Okay, so where can people go? Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you, Alberto. So where can people go to find out more about you and your work?
They can just check out my website, which is www.antinucci.it. My LinkedIn profile is pretty much comprehensive of what I do. And there will be a book coming out soon. So next few weeks, my book, it's in Italian for now. The English translation is under process. Okay. And I will be talking at IFA in a week time. I will be talking in Shanghai mid of September. I will be speaking in Sydney in November. I will be speaking back in Milan with my own conference in Milan. So, people around can reach me out, and I'll be very glad to keep in touch with them.
Yeah, busy. Yeah, Alberto has an amazing LinkedIn profile, and he's doing really well there. So make sure
Thanks to you.
Make sure you guys go there and chat with him. If you need any help entering China from Europe, you can contact with him as well. He's also China business expert. So, Alberto, thank you so much again. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you. Thank you. And who knows, maybe I'll see you in 10 days.
Absolutely. 谢谢你, Dani. 再见.
谢谢你的. Thank you.